Over the last month and a half or so, I've been working on building a private equity company from scratch. I've gotten all kinds of questions about what this means, how it works, how I'm personally doing it, and what the process is going to look like, what my goals and strategy are. I'm going to cover all that in this video. First, though, I want to explain what private equity even is, how they make money, how it works, why it's even a thing, because I didn't come from some crazy financial background. I wasn't born into this, didn't do it the Nepo baby style. I just came into this hungry to learn more about finance, majored in finance in college, and then made my way in the game of entrepreneurship, got to know the people that are in it and learned it from them. And the thing that I learned so far is that you don't have to be born into this. You don't have to, people think that private equity is this thing behind a curtain that's only available for the elite, only people that are born into it or know the right people. And in reality, anyone can learn it and leverage the skills and tactics to be able to actually do this and make a lot of money with it. So I'm going to explain to you first how it works and then how we're going about it, what our goals are, and how you can get involved. So at the bottom of the financial markets here, this is the first thing for you to understand. These are the smallest businesses out there. And then you have all the way up to the top here, these up here in the public markets, these are your Amazons, Apples, Tesla, Nvidia. These are companies that are publicly traded. And this is a spectrum of how easy it is to purchase a company and how much it's worth. And at the very bottom here, this is the type of business that this is, your local pizzeria or mom and pop shop, any kind of local small business that you can think of that's maybe family owned and run and operated, or maybe it's just one person, one entrepreneur running a business on their own. And they're probably doing anywhere from $0 to $100,000 a year in profit, maybe even a little bit more than that. But for the sake of this video, they're right around that range. Now, the thing with a business like this is that this business is almost impossible to sell for a few reasons. It really, in reality, it probably looks something like this. The one person running it, maybe this is you right now, maybe this is someone you know, they are in a little bubble like this, and they're wearing all the hats of running the business. They're doing sales, marketing, they're making the products or delivering the service or whatever, all on their own. And the difficult thing about that is if they tried to sell their business and they weren't still in it, then it's not worth anything to anyone because whoever buys it would have to replace them. So there's not really a business there. So it's probably going to be almost impossible for them to sell this business. And even if they do, they're going to probably have to stay in it to transition. So because of that, the way that business sales work, the way that you would actually get compensated for selling a business like this is typically when you sell your business, you sell on a multiple of the profit. So let's say this business is doing that $100,000 a year in profit and they want to sell, they're probably actually at this level going to sell for less than a 1 times multiple on the profit if they sell at all. So if they're doing $100,000 a year, probably going to sell for $100,000 or less, probably not even. Now, at this level up here, it starts to change a little bit. I'm going to explain to you why and also how that means that you can make money as someone managing a private equity fund. So at this level, the business probably looks a little bit more like this. You're up here. I'm going to put a little top hat on you because you're the manager of this business now. You're not doing everything on your own. There's a little bit of a layer of separation, and then maybe 1 or 2 key employees in here that are helping you out. Maybe you pay them an hourly rate, maybe a salary or something like that to help you run this business. And now you're making more profit every year. You're in that $250,000 to $750,000 in. These are the types of businesses that we're looking at to add to our fund. And I'm going to explain to you why and why this works. So above these businesses, you have one more player that gets involved called an investor. So an investor, I give him a little hat too, a little investor hat. I'm also going to give him a little bag of money. An investor has money that they want to deploy into the market. And when you have money that you can deploy into the market, you have a few different options. He could throw his money all the way over here into the public markets, maybe the S&P 500 or some ETF or something like that. This is just buying shares of publicly traded companies. You can make good money doing that. Some people make really good money doing that. But in reality, you're probably just going to get a pretty average return doing that. You could also put it somewhere else, like maybe a bank or something, right? You can put it in the bank, but you're probably not even going to beat inflation if you do that. The other option is for him to put that money in some kind of private equity play. Now, I'm going to describe to you how that works and what we're actually working on right now, because like I said, we're working on businesses that are in kind of this range here. So what happens is when he wants to put this money in, let's say that he's got a fund of $3 million that he wants to invest. And rather than putting it in the bank or the public markets, he wants to put it in something that he thinks is going to get a bigger return for him and make him more money. So he might use that $3 million. Let's put that down here. That $3 million fund. He might give that to someone like me that's managing a private equity fund to deploy into purchasing a few of these companies. I'm going to get to why this actually works and makes everyone money in a second. But what he might do is he might buy, let's say 4 of these businesses here. Let's say they're each doing $250,000 a year in profit, and they each sell for a 3 times multiple. Because the other thing that happens here is rather than selling for a 1 times multiple or less, in this territory, you're probably selling for more like a 2x to a 4x multiple. And so it's easier to sell because you have a layer of removal. You can transition yourself out and the employees do some of the work for you still. And you're getting more money because you're selling for a bigger multiple. So this investor is going to pay, let's say, a 3 times multiple for this $250,000 business. That's $750,000 that they paid, right? But they're going to do that 4 times. So they're going to spend $3 million on 4 companies that are each doing $250,000 a year in profit, right? So that is going to get them 1 company that collectively does $1 million a year in profit. Now, what my job is as someone that's managing this fund of $3 million is to go out and find these 4 companies. I'm going to go out, I'm going to talk to these companies and find 4 business owners that have a company in this territory that are actively looking to sell their business and want to get a 2x to a 4x multiple on their sale. And I'm probably going to try to keep them in with a small portion of the company still, just to make sure that everything runs smoothly, and also because they can be part of the bigger plan that's at play, which I'm going to describe. But eventually we've got these 4 companies packaged together, and maybe they're all in the same industry. Maybe there are 4 plumbing companies, or maybe they just help each other grow. Maybe one is a plumbing company, maybe the other is a landscaping company, and a marketing company, and let's say an accounting company, and they all collectively run as one cohesive company, as long as me, the fund manager, puts them all on the same systems, processes, and finds someone to replace this guy here and manage them all. And the really cool thing about this is once I finish doing that, you've got this clean $1 million a year company, and you've entered into this next rung here, this range, this 1 million to 5 million profit per year range. And the other cool thing is above here, you've got a different kind of investor. This kind of investor has a bigger hat, and they have even more money. So they can use that extra money even more than this guy. They might have something like a $10 million fund or a $20 million fund that they're looking to deploy just the same way. And because this guy exists, and because there's another one here and here and here, all the way up to here, this guy knows that if he spends his $3 million buying a few companies that collectively make $1 million that can then sell for a bigger multiple, he's going to make a big multiple. He's going to make a big profit on that whole move. So let's look at what that actually might look like. So when you get to this level, this next level here, you create even another layer of removal, right? That same bubble of the company is going to have you as the business owner up at the top here. But then you've got maybe a few mid-tier managers here that are helping you manage things. And under each of them, right? They've got their employees that they're managing. So when someone buys this business, they might just have to replace this guy. And they might have anywhere from $1 million to $5 million of profit at large to be able to use to pay this person a salary. Or maybe there's someone already in place doing this. And this business, for all intents and purposes, is kind of running itself more. It's got these layers of management. So whoever owns this business doesn't have to actually do the day-to-day work like this business owner that we talked about before that's maybe running the business themselves. So this thing is worth a lot more. So rather than even a 2x to a 4x multiple, this business might sell at even like a 5 times or even up to like a 10x multiple. So that's a really big difference. And the reason this guy wanted to invest his money in the first place is that when he collects all those together as a package, that same $1 million a year company might sell for a 5x multiple. And let's think about that for a second, right? If you spent $3 million collecting these 4 companies to then package them into one company that's doing $1 million a year in profit, and that's now worth a 5 times multiple to this guy who wants to sell it for even more down the road, then he might pay $5 million for that company. And you took that 3 million and turned it into 5 million, and you profited 2 million. So all the while, this investor was utilizing this fund to be able to actually go out and leverage this and make that $2 million in profit, which is a much, much bigger return than he could get here or here. And someone like me, the fund manager that came in and did all this organization for him, can actually make a percentage of that profit. This is not the video where I go deep into how all these structures work. There's lots of different structures of how to actually make this percentage. But my goal here is to show you that this is how it works. It's really not that complicated. I explained pretty much the whole reason why private equity exists in this video. This is something that with a little bit of business knowledge and the right connections and some networking savvy, you can go out and organize and do on your own. After all, I didn't come from some crazy financial background, like I mentioned. I just went out and learned this from the people that are in this market. And I'm going to be able to combine a few of these companies and eventually help sell them for an investor or a set of investors down the road and help them make that huge profit. And I'll make a percentage of that. And one thing you might have noticed during the course of this is that this game just gets bigger and bigger. There's always another bigger and better investor down the road that's trying to do the same thing, because the goal for every company is to work itself all the way up from the bottom here to the public market and be a big company. Because these companies over here, these are trading at like a 30x multiple or a 40 or 50 or maybe even a 100x multiple or more, because they're so well organized and they have such a good outlook ahead of them that people are willing to invest in them on a large scale. So this game just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And if you become a private equity fund manager, you can do this successfully one time and then just do it bigger and bigger every time. So it's an infinite game of business that just keeps getting bigger. And so for me, my goal is to show people that this is possible. My other goal is to help people sell their business for more money. Because if you're here and you try to sell your business, you're not going to do very well. But if you can get involved in something like this and sell for more something in this territory or this territory, then all the hard work that you put into your business is going to go a much longer way. If you sell your business for $750,000 or maybe for $5 million, that is going to make you so much more financially free as a person, as an entrepreneur, to be able to do the next thing. So my real goal with this is to help people create financial freedom for themselves through the pursuit of business. So as we're doing this, here's where we're at right now. We have one company on board already. They do HVAC and air duct cleaning work. We're adding more related home services companies. Our goal right now is to fill $5 million worth of a fund and buy a few companies and flip them, probably more in this territory right here. But that goal has gotten even bigger as I've started sharing this and finding more investors. And the way that you can get involved, there's 3 ways that you can get involved with this. You might be an investor. That's the number 1 way. You might be the business owner right here or here. That's number 2. Or you might be just someone who wants to learn more about this and get involved. You might want to come work in the fund. So we have investor spots open, we have business owner spots open, and we have intern spots open. So at the link in the description below, you can apply as any of those 3, and you'll get on and talk to me or a member of our team, and you can find out how you can get involved. And if that's interesting to you, I would love to see you soon, and have a great rest of your day.